look here, YouTube. If you flag our asses one more time for good music that we want to play, I'm just gonna lose every bit of my mind. All right.
Yeah, it's rough out here, man. We try to get a good song and they just keep flagging us, man.
Luckily,
that new intro song is fucking tight, though, dude. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just saying that.
All right, we should be fine.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if I'm just saying that because I have to accept it or if it really is. Now, I love the horns as we come in. That does me in. If that one gets taken away, like I'm gonna be all up YouTube's ass.
That one's for sure fine. We have not been getting flagged for that one, but I had to do some work today to clean up the music beds.
I just YouTube that's how I feel about that move. I really hate this, and I don't want to say getting old. I mean, I'd rather call it getting older, because I don't believe I'm old, right? I believe 40 is just, hey, it ain't old. I'm just getting old. I'm just getting older. I'm just getting older, and so I decided to come out today. I said, man, I'm gonna do a little garage workout, man. Let me do a little HIIT workout. Let me get in there and feel good, man. I'm just kind of getting over that flu. I was getting winded walking up the steps, losing my breath, but now I'm feeling good after this weekend. Still got a little nose, but I'm feeling good. Got my wind back, so I said, let me go out and do it, man. So what I like to do is a little box jump pyramid to go along with some other things. So I had the box jump pyramid, went from 20 down to 10, 20, then 19, 18 on so-and-so. My knees are hurting so bad right now. I mean, the battle I had to walk up the steps to get up here to do the show was wild, and that's just disappointing. Like, I am paying for those box jumps, and they weren't even stretch. Man, it didn't matter, man. That stretching ain't mattering, man. It
matters, man. That matters. It helps you get limber.
It's not the areas that are giving me pain is not. I don't believe stretchable. They're like across.
You gotta learn some new stretches. I was having back problems, and now I do these like cross stretches whenever I work out, and back problems are gone.
No, yeah, but stretching the back, I get. I'm talking these suckers are across the knees, man. There ain't no. This ain't a hamstring or a groin or a hip flexor. This is like I feel like I got hit with a mallet across the knees. Is what it feels like. There ain't no stretch for that. Like everything else, like I did some shoulder presses and bicep curls in it. These feel fine. It was the box jumps and my knees, the bending of them bad boys, just like getting up out of chairs, and it didn't hit me for a minute. But boy, I did this today about 10 o'clock. I tell you, around 2, 3 o'clock, every time I got up, I mean, I felt them on fire. It takes me about 12 good hard steps to get going, and I'm like over this. I hate this. I just hate this. My knee, like just doing it like a damn box jump workout is going to take me out for a day and a half.
Well, you just got to keep doing it. You know what I mean? Fight through the pain, and then eventually your body will get used to it, hopefully. Or maybe it won't get used to it and you'll just feel like shit all the time.
I don't think
it knows, Ron.
I don't think it just gets used to it at 40.
There is no longer any sort of
building of callus.
Yeah.
I'm not building any callus anymore with these with these knees, man.
Your body's just like, yeah, this is it.
By the next time Ron sees me in person, I'm trying to be just shredded. Like I'm getting after it lately.
Hell yeah, dude.
What is get at me? No, let's just not say proud of you, Serda. Let's hear
what is exercise today? It killed me. But
I'm not saying I'm not proud of you. Like, what is getting after it? Like, what are you doing to try to achieve shredded?
I am eating healthier. Beer drinking doesn't really help, but generally,
I wasn't gonna say nothing. Like, we started this week on Sunday. I've seen multiple beers being thrown, but whatever.
I have a gym membership that I use when I have free time, but I also work out at home at least 3 to 4 times a week. Today I did 5 sets, biceps, triceps, chest, ab workouts, and that was it. Tomorrow's shoulders and back. And I'm trying, and I did this new ab workout that I just learned a couple of weeks ago, and it's been killing me, but I'm already seeing results of it. I'm trying to get shredded.
You got a pack?
Not yet, but you can
yet,
feel my abs. You can see the muscles in the midsection that I'm building out right now. And last summer there was a point where I got really skinny because I had a rough summer, but I got down to like 160 pounds and you could see my abs. I'm like more like 180 now. It's all the beer drinking over the last year.
And I just want to make it very clear to the audience, this was not like a cocaine problem that he had.
No, I mean, I just,
because you just said I dropped
job
down.
transition, launching this, keeping up with everything. My dog had cancer and died. Like, it was a rough summer, and I had a few weeks there where I was not eating or taking care of myself, and I got down as light as I've ever been in my entire life. But you could see my abs at that point.
I'm just saying. I just wanted to clarify that. I think when some people hear like, hey, I got way down. I got real super skinny, skinniest I've ever gotten in my life. I mean, it was a rough summer. Like, immediately,
that it wasn't a healthy 160. Like, the way I got to that was not a healthy fashion.
Again, I want to continue to step in and say this is not a cocaine or a coke or a heroin situation. Again, he just had a lot going on in his life, and it was not that he turned to drugs and just stopped eating. This was him just more throwing himself into work and stop eating. So, like, that's more or less what it was. Look, I know my knees ain't the only ones hurting.
Oh no, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't start it out like that. Why got started out like that, Ron?
I got you, man. Brody. We lost JuJu. Listen, last night we knew, like, when she went down like that, and when she's pounding the ground and screaming and crying the way she was, like, I think we kind of knew. I love when people hit us with that. I don't want to speculate. Oh, shut up. You saw her damn knee buckle. You saw her go down like a sack of potatoes. You saw nobody able, like, we knew that story when they immediately put her in a wheelchair and had to take her to a hospital because they didn't have MRI machines there. I think we all knew what time it was. And then she tore her ACL. But from all of that, and it is an awful thing, get well. I wonder if she's already had the surgery. I mean, it was announced this morning that she is having surgery. I wonder if she went ahead and knocked the thing out. But I'm going to tell you what really got me, and we've talked about this a little bit together, the three of us, is this situation. This is another nail in the coffin to them dudes out there. Some of them dudes out there who don't want to believe that this women's basketball thing is becoming a real thing. Like, last night into this morning, JuJu Watkins, a second round women's NCAA tournament game in which she got injured, was the number one sports story in the country. The number one sports story. A women's college basketball. And this is not Angel. This is not Caitlin. But why do you have to show this?
Damn.
You know what?
Damn, Serda.
Steve. Seriously, that
hey, my God.
Like, go back to the other one.
Come on.
I want everybody to be aware. It's the number one sports story in the country. I just want to make sure that everybody knows what went down.
To more to my point, folks, there is no chance in hell. When we saw this, that we had to say, well, I don't want to speculate. Damn it, that ain't no knee sprain. I'll tell you right now, we could look right there. You could see her eyes clutching that sucker. That ain't no knee sprain after she buckled. I think we all knew. But it is like, I'm not going to lie to you. This is somebody who has watched sports since I can remember. Serda, I know you've worked in sports for 10 years, much like I have. I've worked a little bit longer in sports than you. Just want to make sure that's clear. But, and Osita,
pretty sure we started the same
Weird
time.
flex, Ron. Weird flex.
At most, it was like 2 weeks.
Listen, however, whatever time you want to put on it, I just wanted to make that very clear that it was that we're very close in time, but clearly.
So what you gonna say about me, Ron? What you gonna say? I want to hear it.
And then no, but you've been around sports and now you're really a little deeper into it, but you've been around sports as well. Like I don't know how many people are. I don't know if you all agree with this, but I still almost can't believe that. I got up today. She led all of everything. She led Sports Center. She led Get Up. She led First Take. She led the facility. She led Breakfast Ball. She didn't lead, but they did talk about it at least. But almost every single one of those sports shows, many radio shows, national radio shows, she led PTI. She led Around the Horn. She led all of these shows. And I'm sorry, it is still hard for me to just, even me, and I think it should, because I'm intrigued. It was the most interesting thing to me last night in sports. Now, as we know, just because it's interesting to us doesn't necessarily mean it's always interesting to the public. But it was, and it is. And to think that women's basketball made this climb, and they made this climb, and it's not Caitlin or Angel. Like right now, I could wake up and be like, all right, Caitlin Clark, something big happening to her. What she has pulled, yes, that's going to be a huge story. It's not a lot, like she is really big. I think JuJu is really, really popular, but I didn't know JuJu. I guess maybe I didn't know JuJu was like that, where she was leading everything in the second round of the women's tournament against Mississippi State.
Ron, let me ask you a question.
It's just wild. It's wild to me.
Has there been this bad of an injury in either of the tournaments yet?
No, I don't think so. No, it's not. But I'm gonna say this, and sort of maybe you could back me up or disagree. I think pre-Caitlin Clark, there is no way a women's injury in the women's tournament would lead everything. Like, I don't care if it was like Diana Taurasi when she was huge at UConn. God bless her. Breanna Stewart. Maya Moore. Any of the great players here of late. I don't Asia Wilson, if she was at South Carolina. I'm not saying no one would talk about it, but I don't think it would be stop traffic. Scott Van Pelt, like the whole first 30 minutes of his, which is one of their premier shows, Sports Center at Night with SVP, was 30 minutes of JuJu. Like, round the wall. Let's get Holly Road. Let's get the latest. Let's get the latest of the medical. Let's hear from her coach. Let's hear from her teammates. That, I don't think that was happening pre-Caitlin Clark and Angel. And I don't care how significant the injury was, Osita. So, like, I just think this is a development of the last couple of years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because before, I mean, even me, and I follow sports more closely than most, at least football. But in the past, I was I was watch college basketball every night, like whatever games are on, like locked into Sports Center every single night. Like it was all I consumed. And even I wasn't like paying attention to women's sports, but it's also because it wasn't publicized the way that it is now. Like ESPN, we talked about it, I think, on this show, or maybe it was one of the shows we did before we like launched, but ESPN decided that women's sports is a big deal and that it's profitable.
Women's basketball, women's basketball in particular.
Yeah, it shows women's basketball over like bringing back Major League Baseball because they can see that there's lots of room to grow there and that it's something that is only rising, and year after year it's getting bigger and more popular. And so they're saying, well, this is a better investment because we spend way less money on this than we do on baseball, and it's something that is only growing in popularity across the country. And 5 years ago, this simply wouldn't have been something that would have led the major national sports talk shows. It might have been something that they mentioned like on the way out of the show or something, like
somewhere.
Tail end of it. But it's leading the show 5 years ago. There's no way anyone would have predicted that.
Because it happened. Like Paige Beckers was a star at UConn, and she had her leg shattered. Like it was talked about. It was talked about, but it wasn't like this. And this, and I admit, I believe that JuJu is the number one star right now in college basketball. I think or women's college basketball. I do believe that. But still, boy, it's just coming from the last 10 plus years of being in the sports world and covering sports to think that we have gotten to a place where a woman in the second round on a Monday night, of the women's NCAA tournament is stop traffic news.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't necessarily see like the big deal. I mean, I see the big deal in like why they're covering it and everything like that. Obviously, it's a terrible, terrible injury, but that's why they're covering it. It's because it's a terrible, terrible injury, and it happened within, like you've always told me, like there's the Super Bowl and there's making a bracket for March Madness. This is like one of the top sports events of the year. You know, the second, or maybe I don't want to say the second highest rated, but I mean, it's a highly rated, highly coveted sports event. And this is a huge injury for that poor girl. So I don't see, I mean, obviously I haven't been following sports as long as either of you guys, but I don't see why it's surprising that they would cover it the way that they have. She's, you know, top dog in NCAA, you know, as far as women go. And it's a really, really bad injury, man. Like it's nothing. It's not some light shit where she just like sprained her ankle or something like that. She tore her fucking ACL. That's like a career ruiner for some people.
Yeah, but it's yes, everything you're saying is true. The only thing is, for the most part, leading up until 2 or 3 years ago, nobody gave a damn about women's basketball to a point where it was something that sports media places felt like, well, this is something we got to go to. For it to take over on a night that LeBron James is playing his second game back with Luka Doncic, like in a game where they lose, like a night that Anthony Davis in that crazy trade returns to play again, that it is by far clearly the number one story. That to me is something that makes sense, but it's something I still have to make my mind come to grips with. These dudes didn't give a damn about, like they pushed the product. They pushed the conversations and the stories that they believe the masses care about. And like this George fellow who just texted in on our conversation of nobody cares, not even a little bit. Bullshit. Like we've watched the numbers of women's basketball, women's college basketball. This girl was having celebrities show up to her games from her freshman year. Like this, and it clearly it clearly, like all of them, everybody thought that it made sense to say, hey, this is the number one thing. And that's just not what I and I think many people are used to. Like that, whoever that just messaged in, the George guy, like that is for the most part like how people think about it. A woman's like what women athletes, Serda, yeah, Osita, you know too. What women athletes here over the last 10, 15, 20 years would garner stop traffic? Like would garner Serena Venus?
Brittany Griner when she got locked up.
Yeah, that one was so
that was huge.
That involved politics more so almost than it did her. But yeah, that whole scenario. But I mean, just like something that would happen with normal athletes. Generally, that is not a normal thing when you get locked up in Russia and you can't get out. But a normal thing like an athlete getting injured. What, Serena, Venus? Like I'm trying to think over the last 15, 20 years of female athletes that would like ESPN would be like, hold up, this is what we got to talk about.
Who was the girl that was in the Olympics?
That's not a good start.
Okay,
Simone Biles, maybe.
No, not Simone Biles, but girl that was in the Olympics like a really, really long time ago. And she like messed up her something, and then she did a flip and then landed it perfectly and still stuck the landing, although she was all messed up. You know what I'm talking about?
That's Carrie
Strug in '96. Yeah, Carrie
Strug there we
96. Go. That like not her on her own. Maybe the women's Olympic team, but not her on her own. Like I think Simone Biles may fall into that. Simone became a pretty big, but it's not many. And now, since Caitlin Clark obviously is a stop traffic. Angel Reese, I think, has become that, and now this is JuJu. It's just wild to me. I know for you, as you said, you don't see it as that big of a deal, but it is wild to me, still in my mind, and I'm glad because it's fair because they are very, very popular. But it is wild to me. Every time when you show that other photo, sort of all I can think about is what's Jaden's mom thinking?
I'm telling you, Gina.
You think she's like that's what she deserves for trying
to talk to my baby? Trying to talk to my baby.
For trying to talk to my baby and get away with it on my baby boy. That's what she deserves.
Trying to cash in on my money train. That's crazy.
I hope to God this is not this is what she deserves. I hope she's just like, oh, that poor girl. Damn, she got bad luck. I hope that is the case. I'm not for sure about it. I feel like she might be excited about the damn thing. All right, let's do a little heat check. Let's get in here.
Check.
Let's do a little heat check. Let's get. Oh
right,
yeah, baby. You never know when.
All right. Okay. So for today's,
first off. You got to be
up?
kidding me with it. You got to be kidding me.
What did I do? Did I do something weird? Is something strange?
Just because we
can't see your eyebrows because of the glasses. You know what I mean?
I feel like when you want to really pick it up with a young lady, that's the move you do before you do it. I
do brush my eyebrows up a little bit, so I look more attentive.
So you look more attentive. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Facial hair is like our makeup. It's all we got, man. You know.
Let me step out of this. Man.
Sorry, Serda. All right. So for today's heat check, I heard about it. I'm sure a lot of the world heard about it because every single time something happens in Texas, y'all seem to think that this is the norm. But after rodeo, we had a bunch of cows get loose on I-45. Serda, do you have the video?
I do, and I left the audio in it because the audio is really funny, and I think we need to listen to the audio.
Perfect.
Driver in one of these cars not knowing what is going on, all of a sudden you see a cow run past you, just like this.
My car, coming right toward my car.
Look at it, look at
it. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That could have been bad.
Right.
Oh,
right. Came right at her.
She's brave. Yes, she tried to stop that cow in front of her.
Not deterred for 1 second, and my car giving a great image of that.
Oh my gosh! Oh, here comes. Is this an average citizen?
This is going to be somebody with a rope. Got him.
Did he get him?
No, I guess not. No, it looked like
oh my goodness!
You can get real hurt doing that.
Wow.
You get really hurt doing that.
Close.
So now this one's going to be off and running, and that cow might not stop for a mile now.
Oh, hell no.
So after a full month of the rodeo and these cows being subjected to all sorts of just, in my opinion, nonsense. I went to the rodeo. I wasn't too impressed. I think it's kind of ridiculous that they put all these animals through this shit, but that's just how I am. They got 55 of them got loose on I-45. And
was 55?
55 of them got loose on I-45. You know how many came back? 54. So there's one. There's
one on the loose.
There's one on the loose, and
on the lamb.
I hope to God on the lamb. That's a good one. I honestly hope to God that motherfucker don't come back. I hope he lives his life, his or her life, free of the oppression of being on a farm. I hope it gets to roam free in the wilds of Texas, probably on the north side, because that's where 45 is. I love to see it. I'm here for it. I want to free all the cows. Free all the cows. Free my cows.
Yeah. I think that's a little hot. Maybe if he finds a farm of some sorts, I just hope that he's not on the loose, like just rolling around as people are just walking around in their neighborhood or something. And he's
honestly, I think someone probably stole him. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I think someone just found that cow and is like, I'm keeping that motherfucker. That's mine.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Dude, what are these people thinking?
That they're gonna get in the way of a bull. With
people
horns.
from Texas, so they're like, "Oh, I know how to wrangle a cow."
No, the fuck we don't. I'm born.
No. Don't. Hey, first off, I can look at the technique of some of those.
I know Ron's not. Like, you're not one of those people in Texas who just shows up riding places on horses and stuff.
I've been on a horse one time in my entire life, and I did not like it. I thought it was weird. I do not.
Hold on, Serda.
Oh, you're gonna take offense to that? Okay, I see where this is going.
I've seen that's like a thing in Texas.
He's gonna be like, "What about me? Doesn't seem like I can ride a horse."
They just show up. Oh yeah, but why? Ron's not from there. Why would Ron?
Hold on. Are you serious? This is very much like what Nelly said about people from like the Midwest. What you think we live on a farm? Like, what do you think happens in all of what do you think Houston is?
They see one picture.
They
see one picture, one video of like the trail rides or whatever, and they think it's like that all the time. They see one picture of someone riding a horse to Whataburger, and they're just like, "Oh, do you ride your horse to school?" I went to camp in North Carolina when I was a kid, right? And it was a camp that was from all over, like all the YMCA's from all over. So we met people from Florida, Tennessee, New York, all this stuff. All these kids were like, "Oh, y'all are from Texas, right?" "Yeah, we're from Texas." "Y'all ride horses to school?" "Are you fucking serious?" A horse is 20 grand, dog. A horse is 20 bands.
Yeah, like you think it.
People buy cars they can't afford. What's the time for buying horses they can't afford?
I mean, you think people in Houston, Dallas are just rolling around here and just just horses?
That's what y'all think of us. Y'all think that we're just riding around on horses, riding bulls and shit, like listening to country music.
Don't y'all just ride horses everywhere?
Y'all just ride horses?
First off. But I'm just tripping. There is no way. Like, I'm more scared to death that this joker about to come up here and mess up my car with one of them damn horns. The hell with getting out there trying to stop him. And then that one lady is trying to act like the lady from Home Alone 2 when Macaulay Culkin was running through the hotel and she's standing wide like this. Like the first cop, that's what she's doing. Like, what are you doing? I thought the big. I said,
Run
let's say, tell that
through,
bitch,
dog.
just go put on some red. Go put on some red and really hone it in. What the hell are these people thinking? There is
Texas.
like
They're from Texas. It's wild, dude. I don't know, man. I don't know that shit. But I hope they free all my guys, though. You know what I mean? I hope that one remains free. I don't want him to get caught.
Really, like that's.
I'm on board. I'm on board. I did eat a bunch of like cow meat recently that like somebody who I know who lives on a farm gets all of like the slaughtered cow meat, and then it's like no preservatives, and so it's all
Fresh.
like super high quality. Gave like a big sack of meats. It was incredible. There was some Casey strips in there that were.
What is wrong with you, man?
That's how it's supposed to. That's what he's supposed to do. What do you mean? What's wrong with you?
I'm just supposed to turn down the premium meats.
Never.
No, but you said. He said, I hope that one stays away or stays away. It doesn't get caught. And then Serda goes. Yeah, I'm right with you. However, though, I did have a bunch of not beef, cow meat. I did have a bunch.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. If there's a random pop-up barbecue in the hood, like close to 45, we know exactly what happened.
Oh yeah, you think they're doing it like that? I think they're gonna try to sell it, damn cows. What they gonna? We're gonna
get some brisket. We're gonna eat good.
I don't like. Listen, we have fun. There's generally when I see, like, I think Serda is completely out of control for just believing everyone in Texas just rides horses. But
I thought it was maybe a little bit more popular than I realized.
It feels like for you to go, aren't you all just used to that in Texas to just ride horses? But anyway, like this is however different because this is the second time, because the first day of the rodeo, one of them cows got free and was running up down. I just saw cow free running down Old Spanish Trail. That's the report I heard.
Down OST.
Yeah,
down OST.
Head northbound. And in that video, I saw people trying to hop in front of that cow. And I think for me, Serda, this is more important is the type of individuals I've seen do this. I've seen, and in that photo field or that video you just showed us, it's about 3 or 4 black folks now. I've now seen this try to get themselves in front of those cows. That to me is not what I thought I would think to see of people trying to stop cows, not us. So I don't just assume like Serda that everybody just rides horses around the place. But there is something about even black folks in Texas going to try to get in front of cows, which is country. You're right. Country. Black.
That's what it is. Country.
That one caught me off guard. That fella got out of his car to try to help. Help what? Unless I'm staying in my car and praying he don't come up and veer off into me. But I am seeing some black folks being involved in this thing, which has caught me off guard.
Those type of black folks that say, "Yeah, my granddad used to have a farm back in the day. We used to ride horses all the time. We used to do it." Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure he did. I believe it.
I'll be in there doing something real stupid, like sitting in the car, seeing the cow, and just frantically locking my doors like that's gonna work.
Imagine explaining that to your insurance company. was so sick. Oh my god, that was so good. That
all
guitar,
right?
when that guitar hit.
This is a new song. I hadn't made it that far into that song. Actually,
God bless, that was amazing. You know who has like a really good hold music like that? Verizon. If you ever call Verizon, I promise you, I'll send it to you after the shit. Verizon has the best hold music I have ever heard in my life. It is so good, dude.
Can anybody? Can anybody verify that? Please let us know. Message it. Do you agree? Does Verizon have the best hold music? I don't even listen. Like you must be a music freak. I don't listen for any kind of hold music. I am furious that I have to be held, and I try to I don't listen to it and just be like, damn, that shit's hitting right there. Like,
did you see what I was messaging in this little chat that we have going on? I was like, yo, gotta know the name of this song. Ooh, that guitar. When that guitar hit, I was literally just up here like, yo.
Yeah, that was me. I made up the name of the song. I don't believe it's called Milk and Honey. I seriously made that up. Like, can we listen? We're here. Like and subscribe. Foolish Club Media Nightly Fix every night, Sunday through Thursday. And we're all learning each other. Osita, I've been wanting to get here because I want to pose a question musically to you that very similar to what I posed about CJ Stroud last night. Like, what are you musically? There's a lot there. Right. There's some spaces in which I feel like, and I knew this, that I'm going to just get out of the way and let you two just really vibe. But then but then obviously you got a soul piece to you. You got a hip hop. Like what are you musically? Because I kind of let the folks know, because I can't put you in a box. I don't know, because I remember when I first met you, and I was like, all right, I may like to pursue some sort of a relationship with you past this one time I meet you. And so I did a deep dive on your IG page, and I thought, wow, this guy's really been after it here the last year. But what are you musically?
Musically, I hate the answer that a lot of people give where they're just like, I listen to everything. I'm just like, yeah, bullshit. No, you don't. You don't listen to everything. You don't listen to fucking metal. You don't listen to fucking Japanese pop or some shit like that. But I feel like no. I mean, that's a whole different fucking thing. I don't even know how to explain that shit. It's just Japanese pop. I don't like it. It's there though. It's a thing that people do like. For me, I grew up. So my mom played a lot of like Patsy Cline and country and then church music. And then my dad played a lot of straight up like Nigerian music, like Fela Kuti and Oriental Brothers. And then he also had like a really huge funk and soul. Like he loved like Parliament and Funkadelic and shit.
That's the first name. That's the first name you've mentioned that I got.
Okay, word. Got you. So that was like my basis. And so like whenever I was younger, I listened to a lot of hip hop because I mean, that's just kind of what was popular at the time. High school, I had some friends turn me on to other things. Like I didn't hear about the Beatles until I was like 17.
Good.
You know what I mean? And yeah. And so I know, and that's how everyone acted. Like everyone was just like, you've never heard the Beatles? And then my now best friend, like we all went to his house and they literally showed me the Beatles for the first time. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. So ever since then, I kind of listen to whatever I find sonically interesting. My favorite band of all time is this band called Dr. Dog. They're kind of like this Philadelphia soul indie band.
I love Dr.
Yeah, Doctors, they're so sick. They're so good. See, me and Serda, we're on the same wavelength. But
are you more rock? Are you more into rock? Because I'm just saying, if I look like when I looked at your IG and I stalked you, that's kind of the conclusion I came from.
I have my artists that I'm into. So like when it comes to like hip hop, I like Freddie Gibbs. I like Vince Staples. I like Tyler the Creator. I like Earl Sweatshirt. I like Larry June a lot right now. But then I also have
probably an Andre 3000 fan.
Yeah, I'm like the Andre 3K kind of cat. Like I mean, obviously had like an Outkast phase and everything like that. But yeah, I would say I'm more so into rock just because I like composition. Like ever since I started writing music and stuff when I was younger, like I find that shit super interesting. So if I hear anything that has like a really good groove and I can tell it's going somewhere and I can tell that it's built up to something really, really nice, like that's like when I was listening to that song, I liked how the fuzz guitar came in and it had that churchy vibe, but still kind of remained soulful but would had the bluesy guitar. Like I was like, okay, but I really fuck with that. Like I like that. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say, boy, you get vibes all over the map. Like you, yeah, I knew. I just know.
I love his musical taste because I feel like I'm all over the map too. But like, I don't listen to a ton of rap these days, probably. But like at least like newer rap. Like I listen to like a lot of like old school rap because it's like what I grew up listening to. But I'm all over the map in terms of my musical taste, and I love what Osita's bringing to the table with his knowledge.
Oh, I know you do. You guys, yeah, I know. See, again, we're gonna have to, like, y'all gonna have to get into it. Y'all gonna have to get into it. Like, we got to get a good fight in, like between you two. Like, there's just got to be a good, clean, solid fight and disagreement. But
I'll think of a band that I don't like that.
No, yeah.
How do you feel about Deftones?
They're fine. It was good when I was in middle school. Not really my thing now as an adult.
I fucking hate them. I hate Deftones so much. I hate that.
But band. You're like both of you. When you say your favorite bands, both of your favorite bands I've never heard of. You're the like before you all had told me about it. Like, Serda, is it still Fish? Are you still Fish?
Well, Fish is still my number one. But we did send lists to each other. I don't even remember specifically what was on mine because I feel like it changes. But I've seen Fish 23 times, I think, which isn't even that much, like compared to other people that I know.
Yeah, I got some homies that are like super Deadheads and Fish heads, and I saw Widespread Panic like on accident one time. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, Widespread's fun. I like Widespread and Fish. Like they have this rivalry as fan bases. So like Widespread fans hate Fish fans and Fish fans hate Widespread fans. But I've seen Widespread a handful of times. They're fun.
How do you feel about did you hear what happened with Goose?
No. I've heard of them. I've never seen
their drummer got kicked out because he's a fucking weirdo, like a piece of shit, just terrible person.
Anyway, sorry. It's kind of a common thing on that circuit of music, honestly. It's
this is wild. Like I am somebody, at least like I am into like the stories of bands, like the stories of music and stuff. Y'all like shit y'all been rattling off. I got no clue. Like none of these bands. Like but like popular like 80s and night like I have gone. I remember I went a full weekend of just a Nirvana, Foo Fighters, just like literally 20 plus hours dive into things. My wife was like, what is wrong with you? Like you have been like that. I got all the 80s, like Queen, all that. Y'all just naming some shit I have no idea about. I mean,
there's been a lot of music since the 80s, Ron. There's been a lot of music since the 80s.
I'm just saying, like I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not a big rock fan, obviously. I mean, there's some bands I like. I guess I shouldn't have just said obviously, but there are like bands that I do like. But man, y'all rolled in there, man. Y'all start talking about these rivalries between fans, like y'all talking about Biggie and Pac, and I have no idea. Like I have no idea these two bands that you all are talking about.
I feel like me and Osita could really sit down and just like go to some weird places with our music knowledge because I do it a lot too. Like I pull out random things, like random songs, like who is this, and then I like have random bits of knowledge about is, and I'm like, oh well, this man. Blah, blah, blah.
Yo, check it. There was this girl last night who posted a video of her cat just like kind of like spazzing out or whatever, and I was just like, damn, this catnip's getting too strong. She was like, nah, he only gets like that whenever I play Black Sabbath. They're self-titled, and I was just like, the first thing I did was like write the lyrics to the first song, Black Sabbath. Like, what is this that stands before me? And she fucking finished the rest of the sentence. And I was just like, oh, we're kindred. I fuck with you. Like, I like that. I like that. And we started talking about how there was like a whole like kind of helter-skelter kind of panic because of what was that dude's name? What's his name? Cult leader from California. Charles Manson. Yeah, so that album came out right after Charles Manson and everything. All the murders happened and stuff. So like there was a satanic panic and people were freaking out because they played like these 3 chords that just sounded so evil. And like, meanwhile, I love that shit.
I bet it turned you on.
Meanwhile, I love that shit. Love it.
Yeah.
I've gotten into really like old stuff. Like I've been listening to Nancy Sinatra a lot this week.
Oh, nice. Nancy Sinatra's nice. She had her thing with, the boots are made for walking and everything. It's cute.
But like she's got a lot of other really good songs that I
yeah.
And I discovered that I love like 50s, early 60s, like all that stuff, like pre-Beatles. Like I love that kind of music. I found that out in my older age.
I have not found that out yet. I do really enjoy the band Lawrence.
Yeah, you love those guys.
Ron turned me on to them. They're good.
They can sing their asses off, man.
Yeah,
they sing their asses off.
Yeah, I get turned on by them. Shout out to Clyde and his sister. Yeah, they cold-blooded.
Are they from Lawrence, Kansas, or something, or like?
No,
there's Lawrence, Kansas, a place.
Their last name's Lawrence. Their last name's Lawrence.
Oh, I thought they were from like somewhere. Okay,
nah,
all right.
Yeah, I didn't know where they were from.
No, dude. No, they're from New York. Dude wrote the music to one of the scores on Miss Congeniality when he was like 5. Clyde did. The brother in the group, their father was into music, and he directed. I think he directed Miss Congeniality, and he wasn't liking what the music they was giving to him, so he told his 5-year-old son Clyde to do it, and Clyde had knocked it out.
He's like, I bet you my fucking 5-year-old can do it. He's like talking shit to a music supervisor.
Yeah. Dude,
I bet you my fucking child can do it.
Yeah. Speaking of weird,
okay.
I feel like the New York Giants are just gonna go ahead and just their whole coaching staff might as well just turn in their books, as they're gonna go ahead and get fired. They have made the decision. This is what we're gonna do with our quarterback.
Should get fired. It's insane that they've been able to stay on for this long.
But this is what they've decided to do. We're on the hot seat. We just had this year where we unloaded Saquon Barkley, and then he became clearly, obviously, one of the best players in football, finished 3rd in the MVP race, and then helped them win a Super Bowl. And now they've said, what are we going to do with the quarterback situation? We're going to sign 2 of the number 1 players in the league that I believe are top 5, maybe ever, in getting on teammates' last nerves. And that is Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. And those 2 are both playing quarterback. Jameis is, I'm guessing by the money, Jameis is the backup, Serda. He's on a 2-year deal for $8 million. Russ could get up to $21 million. He's getting over almost 11 a year. But this is where they're going to quarterback situation. And they got 2 guys in that locker room that are going to try to one-up each other when it comes to trying to get people emotionally. Like y'all have a friend in the group that tries to really wheel everybody. I know I do, Scorp. That tries to talk, and like when we together and we kicking it, like almost try to draw tears from like looking back.
Yes.
I think Serda, Jameis and Russ are going to try to one-up each other, trying to do that, and it's going to get on everybody's nerves. This is if you're just looking for a reason and a way for a GM and a head coach to get fired on the hot seat, this is it. How they came together and said, Russ and Jameis together competing. Let's go.
Well, I'm annoyed about it because Jameis is fun. Is Jameis a liability? Absolutely. He's just as likely to throw 4 touchdowns as he is 4 interceptions on any given week, and you never know.
Hold on. You say he's fun, but just think about Jameis and what he's and here's the thing is, I think both of them, I think there's a little bit of feel that both of them are not real, and that they are putting on an act, and because Russ has been compared to A-Rod a lot, and I used to think that is the case, that he's just not genuine. But I don't think so. I think both of them are really being themselves. I just think that Russ is just super, super corny. And I think this is Jameis has kind of turned his life around, and this is just where Jameis is. But even when you say Jameis is fun, that shit gets on your nerves after about we're reaching 22 weeks. Jameis can get on somebody's nerves. And who do you have to turn to? This guy who says "let's ride" at the end of every one of the press conferences. This guy who has a picture of MetLife Stadium and said, "I've been there before. Can't wait to get there again."
But I don't really understand what the Giants general manager and Brian Daboll have on ownership in this franchise, because they should have been fired a while ago. They're still riding off of one playoff appearance with Daniel Jones in a year where it was they had no business being in the playoffs, and they weren't a good football team, and they've been garbage ever since. They're going to be garbage next year, but Russell Wilson, I guess, is semi-functional, but he's a super limited quarterback at this point in his career. And Jameis is just a liability, but he's fun because Jameis can go throw for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns plus 3 interceptions. He is an absolute wild card of a quarterback. And so while that's fun, Brian Daboll's not a good head coach. I don't understand what the Giants are doing. They're not even treading water. The Pittsburgh Steelers, what they're doing with Aaron Rodgers is absolutely insane and stupid. But the Steelers, with Mike Tomlin, they're going to tread water enough to get to 500. The Giants are a perennial 4-win football team. And now they're signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston because they re-signed Daniel Jones to a massive contract that everyone knew they shouldn't sign him to.
Well, they chose him over Saquon, and basically, and Saquon was going to be cheaper. They chose him over Saquon, thinking he was the push, and clearly he wasn't. But I just, for me, if I'm the owner and I'm looking at this, I can't make them make this decision. I have the 3rd pick overall. All right, obviously, I don't think they're going to get to Cam Ward, but Shedeur is potentially going to be sitting there in the 3 spot. I can't have them make the decision on potentially passing up on a franchise quarterback so we can roll with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. I don't care if Sierra comes with them. That one I cannot put in their hands, especially after how they handled the Saquon Barkley stuff, how they handled all of that. This is one of those ones where everyone knows how this is going to end. Everyone knows this is going to end right now with everyone getting fired. You can see this. There's even if best case scenario, Serda, what do you sense is the best case scenario with Russ and Jameis for the Giants? In terms of a season, the absolute ceiling best case scenario.
6 wins. They're not a good team.
6 or 7 wins.
They're simply not a good team. Like, they have Malik Neighbors. I guess they have Tyrone Tracy. Like, their offensive line's garbage. Like, their offensive weapons just simply aren't good. I don't think Brian Daboll's a particularly good play caller. Like, and their defense is just up and down. And they've invested money into the defense or whatever, but it's still not a good unit. Like, they're just not a good staff. They're not a well-run organization. They should be tearing this entire thing down instead of running it back with the people that they have in positions of power now. Like, they're simply not a team that's going to challenge for anything or be interesting in any way other than maybe Jameis Winston becoming the starter. And hopefully we get to see Jameis play for like 6 to 8 games this season.
Well, that's why I said that. Like, if 6 wins, let's say everything falls right, they get to 7. And that's even hard to look at because, I mean, they got to play Philly and Washington and Dallas. And all of those teams, if healthy, are far superior to the Giants. And they may have the toughest division, of the other 3 teams. Hell, the two of them were in the NFC Championship game last year, and the other one won the Super Bowl, right? And then the Cowboys had a lot of injuries, and they traditionally whooped their ass. I just don't understand where they're headed and where they're going. And you have a chance maybe to get a quarterback. And even if you don't want to get that quarterback, I still don't want these guys to make the decision on who's going to be the next guy in. Right? Like, so for me, it is at best, you're talking 6 wins. 6 wins, Serda, is not going to keep their jobs with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston and no young quarterback. It'd be different if they had Shedeur and it was 6 wins or 7 wins and you saw some real signs that Shedeur Sanders was a franchise quarterback. But that's not what this is. Even if they win 6 wins, 6 games, they got Jameis and Russ to short-term deals.
And I think that suggests that they're not taking a quarterback. Why would they sign them both?
No, I know it. Now, Travis Hunter.
There's no reason to sign them both. Yeah, like Malik Neighbors and Travis Hunter would be really intriguing. Like, that does sound like fun. I would like to see that, but I also think it's just going to be wasted on another year of Brian Daboll when he's just going to get fired after the season.
Only thing that makes sense to me is ownership said, you guys don't get to draft a quarterback. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense because you're sitting there at 3 with a quarterback that most people think is going to be available, that people sense as a top 10 pick. That has to be the thought process. You guys don't get to hire a quarterback or get to draft a quarterback. And so they've elected to go because they tried to get Aaron. They've elected to get Russ and Jameis. This is I don't even think they're interesting, even with Jameis and Russ. Like, it's one thing to be bad. Sometimes bad is interesting. I don't even think they're interesting. This is just a wasted year if I'm a Giants fan.
I'm more interested in Bryce Young and the Panthers this season than the Giants after the way Bryce played down the stretch last year.
Would you just pick a random team and say, yeah, I'm more interested? Of course.
Well, the Panthers have been the worst team in the league for multiple seasons.
Not these past years. They came back. They look like there's some movement going forward. Who you think wins that competition? Who you think's the starter? It's got to be Russ, right? Because they're paying him.
It's going to be Russell because Jameis is first training camp. Jameis is going to throw like 3 picks in practice. They're going to be like, damn it, Jameis. And they're going to play Russell. And then Russell will get hurt or he'll struggle and the offense won't be able to move the ball. So they'll give Jameis a chance. Jameis will have a monster game where he throws for 375 yards and 4 touchdowns and 1 pick. And then the next week, he'll throw for 320 yards and 4 interceptions, and he'll get benched for Russell Wilson again. This is what Jameis Winston has been doing for years now.
The most interesting part will be any kind of pregame speeches we hear. Because I feel like the two of them are going to share them. Like going
everybody
back.
Everybody loves Jameis Winston. Every team he's ever been on, everybody absolutely loves Jameis.
I don't think everybody does. I think he gets on many people's nerves. Like I can look at Jameis and the stuff he does, like he gets on people's nerves. Like and I feel like it's a thing in which people are laughing at Jameis as much as they're laughing with Jameis. Honest to God, I'm talking about on this team. Look at this idiot. Like, I mean, you don't throw up a W and throw it in your mouth and as a pregame. Yes, Jameis' greatest hits, throwing up that W and putting it in his mouth, trying to eat it. Like, I mean, he went out there and saved Deshaun Watson. You remember that promo he cut on his starting quarterback, Deshaun Watson, in them gold glasses, where he went in and said, "Y'all don't know the man."
And Jameis had an incredible snow game this past season on Thursday Night Football, and he had an incredible performance and led the Browns like in a comeback win. And he does that every now and then. That's why Jameis is the far more exciting player, but he's a total wild card.
I think both, and I almost feel bad for them because I think both of them individually think that their teammates are riding high, like that when they're talking and when they're giving their speeches or whatever. I think they think their teammates are really riding with them. But I think the majority of them are laughing at them, especially Russ. And the scary part is for them is those two believe that the people are really into it. And that makes me feel, and I feel terrible for them. But I think they really, in their heart of hearts, believe, damn, man, I got them. They're really running with me. And I think most of the time, like, I think there's people in the back like saying, "Hey, look at this suck ass motherfucker right here. Look at this lame ass right here. Watch this shit. Mouthing everything that he gonna say with him. Let's ride." It is. I feel bad for Giants fans. I really do, and I generally don't, but I feel bad for New York Giants fans. All right, Osita, take us home.
All right, guys. Well, speaking of emotional moments that I thought were great and they ended up making fun of me for afterwards, let's go back to the story of my first love. I want to take it back a little bit, though. Let's take it back real quick.